All right. You guys sneak peek of us earlier. Here we are again. What up? Whew.
Will go in my arms.
We're on a little bit of a time crunch, so we're gonna just get going. So we're just gonna do this. Let's do this. Welcome
Hell yeah.
to the Blue Read Podcast, episode number 238. I'm Adrian. That's David. What up?
Word.
This is I already said, yeah, this is a video game podcast. We go live on youtube.com/at I need to get a new webcam. This is really annoying. Is blue mark That's annoying. Whatever. It lines up perfectly with the arcade machine, so it's like it's fine as long as I don't sit in front of it. But it's still incredibly annoying because I know it's there.
Did you
But
reorganize your room?
no, it's been like that for a year and a half.
I think your camera's just flipped and it's throwing me off.
No.
Yeah, because the arcade cabinets would be on your other side. But looking at it now, it's flipped
I
around.
can't see what it is, but my cam's been the exact same on the feed, and this way it's forever.
Absolutely not.
Can we bet $1,000 on it?
Absolutely not.
Yeah. This is a video game podcast. We go live on youtube.com/@depunked every Tuesday. Uh, and then we also do this video game book club called Games Gone By, which we're gonna talk about for a second. But before we do that, though, we did have our episode of Near Replicant last night, and we knew
We
it was gonna
did.
be a big boy episode. We just knew it, and we were ready for it. And sure enough, that is a 3.5 hour hearty discussion that we still had to hurry along because it was getting long. But I'm sure if we were on earlier, if you let us go forever, we would have gone for like another hour or two. I'm sure there was
Oh
still
yeah, I easily could have done a good 5 hours of that
yeah.
minimum.
So speaking on that, while David's pouring himself a drink, Dave and I had this talk right before the podcast. We kind of had a little bit of an epiphany-ish moment, then decided we were gonna like wait it out, but I don't know, it just felt right immediately. I think so. We're gonna shuffle the way we're doing games gone by, which is fine. I'm not too uh beat about it because we're early enough and we haven't actually really launched. Jesus, you look like you were to die. Uh,
It's a burnt trailer park. It takes a while to get used to.
I'm sure.
When especially when you haven't had it in a while.
Uh, we haven't really had the launch we wanted to, but we've still been doing the content, which is great. But we can still rigorous the content the way it's coming out, which is what we're gonna do. So, uh, a Games Gone By will no longer be live streaming. On asterisk. Every episode will now just be a offline record. This allows us a little more flexibility, allows us to do more guests, which we already have lined up, which is cool. We can also record at our own time. So like if we're feeling spontaneous, like hey, for example, beginner's guide, we both had that done. If we're feeling spontaneous, can't speak. Feeling spontaneous, we can just do it. That's fine. Let's knock it out and just have it on the back burner, ready to upload or go to podcast feed, whatever day we have that now. Now we have a nice little backlog of this current season, so I'm feeling
Yep.
pretty good about that. Now that also allows us, if we need to, if we want to, we can also adjust because we don't necessarily need to. If there's a game that we both played and we both feel pretty solid enough, I don't feel like we need to now wait. Does that make sense, David?
No,
W-
that makes perfect sense.
so like we don't have to do the whole like 12. We're still gonna keep, so schedule's still the same. We're still playing all the games that we listed. That's happening no matter what. But I think
Yeah.
also we're not tied to uh scheduling, which makes it a little more flexible. I'm a little like free. It's a little weight off the shoulders that we can just do whatever whenever we want now, right? So
Yeah.
if like I don't know, just pretend like all right, let's say we right after Yakuza, I hyper fixated on the Yakuza franchise, and I knocked out Yakuza uh Kwame 1.
Yeah.
Cool. Uh we don't necessarily need to wait now, right? Like if for example, if there's also another example, let's say we have these 12 games. Maybe from now on we can even just like slate the games out. That's actually kind of that sounds kind of nice actually. The way I never we can slate the games out. Hey, here's the 12 games we have planned for sure. Might be a bonus episode here or there. You never know. Like Final Fantasy 7, for example, remake is gonna happen, right?
Yep.
But now we can slate it all out. So you know what? Instead of waiting, and we're still gonna wait because I have to now, and we're still I've locked in a time for that just mentally. But like, if like, oh, this winter break, oh, I knocked out all the games I needed to. Why don't I knock out Yakuza right now? And then David and I could just talk about, all right, let's do Yakuza right now, like, right? We could do it at our own pace rather than like we have to do this in June because it gets tough, especially when surprise releases or games that we just, oh, this is a pretty solid game. We want to hop on this. Alan Wake 2, for example, just derailed a lot of my focus on Silent Hill. If it was my way of reorganizing, Silent Hill would have just been axed for later on, probably like around maybe even now would have happened, and I would have swapped out something else just because I do think I don't think I don't think it was a large enough, but
it was unfair to Silent Hill to a degree.
Yeah,
you weren't going into it with the right mindset.
But also me. I don't want to do just horror, especially when there's a game that I've just been so enamored with. I don't want to take away things from either of them, right? But that allows us to say 12 games are coming out. We'll let you know when, but just have those on the docket. And maybe we can say like, hey, we recorded next week. We recorded I don't know, Persona or something. You know, we could do a lot more stuff with it, which is nice. And I think
it'll make it easier also for like the multiplayer game ideas where it's like, we actually happen to have like a free time earlier. Well, let's fucking go ahead and play it now and see if it's even something that we're gonna really want to invest a lot of time into more later. And if not, well, we've played enough to figure out what we're gonna.
That was the hindrance. That was a hindrance on past multiplayer games, just because we felt obligated. We needed to, but I don't know. The time thing is also just a little funky. Sometimes it just makes me feel a little bit too obligated to play games that I'm even though I love it, just adding that little extra like you have to do it, versus we can keep each other honest. I think.
Yes.
Kel's in the chat. What up, Kels?
Hell yeah.
So I was gonna say. I'm excited actually. I never thought about this, but I'm gonna out you a little bit, and I know it's not necessarily the word. You be honest about it, but it doesn't sound as bad as it sounds. You're not a fan of live streaming.
No.
In general,
it's not outing me. I've said it on the podcast multiple times.
Right, and it sort of You do like it, and like the interaction's cool when we get that for sure.
The interaction's fun. I do like having an audience to play off of to a degree.
I feel like I'm curious because I don't remember the last time we recorded an offline podcast. It was an early Blue Rupees thing, right? Because that was when we just like it was a while back.
I think the last time we did an offline recording was for that side project you were gonna do, and then
didn't happen. That's true. But then I'm thinking Blue Rupees way back when was not live, but I'm excited to see how that looks because it's been a while, and that's definitely your, not to say it's even anything different, but that's definitely where you feel most comfortable, just because you don't feel tied to anything and it feels a little more freeing for you.
Yeah.
Did another new podcast record offline? Yeah. And then I'll say I like them on the schedule, gives me a chance to play along of viewer's perspective. Yeah, so we'll have some sort of semblance of that, I think. We're still toying around with the idea, but for now, I think the shackles are off of us just being able to feel tied to things. But for now, I think the schedule's still going to stay the same. We're still playing the games in that order, just because mentally I'm there, David's there. We planned it out a lot for that particular timing. And I still don't have an issue with that, but I think going forward we'll toy around with the idea a little bit. Yeah. So Cal says he does like the schedule. I agree. The schedule is interesting enough, and book clubs do give you the idea of what you're gonna do. We'll find a happy medium for sure in there. There's a middle ground there where we can feel a little more relaxed, but less time crunchy.
Yeah.
but yeah, so there's that. So Blue Rubies will now be posting, and you know what? Let's start toying with when this will actually launch, and it'll be its own podcast feed on that YouTube, and it'll just be a thing you can just download. Because I think every episode we've had so far is rock solid. The only one that was a bust was literally the first one with Alan Wake because of the recording, but we doubled over the next time, and we just did the retrospective, which was fine. Now,
Yeah.
speaking of, that's the asterisk. We do want to still have live recordings when it comes to series retrospectives. So a big sort of event. So David, I mentioned we could do the Draconeer retrospective whenever we want, but that's gonna be like if we're talking Draconeer, if we're gonna like, all right, David, we're gonna go in and we're gonna dive in to Draconeer in as much gritty detail as possible. That is like an extra live stream. That is like
Yeah.
we're gonna spend a long time. So we want to like do that, but also have some people in on us. We don't want to just be us two if we're gonna talk about like this entire series, right? So that I think we'll tie live recordings to special events, and ways for us to make it a bigger, more eventy style thing. Um, so those will still be in around somehow, and I think it'll be sort of like the Alan Wake one, but definitely more beef when it comes to whatever this is. So I mean, I don't know. I can imagine we're gonna do we're gonna do a. We haven't said it, and we haven't really actually planned it, but I think you and I both are trying to are really want to do a Final Fantasy VII remake games gone by.
Yeah, because we did a spoiler episode on it, but we couldn't go into a lot of the deep comparisons because you still hadn't played regular 7 yet.
Yeah, so I'm gonna throw the idea out, David, and let's just see what you think. I'm of the mind that I don't mind a games gone by just focused on 7. Spoiler cast on Rebirth, and I think once the dust is settled, maybe like a month afterwards, we could do a retrospective of OG, remake, and Rebirth going into whatever the final part of this trilogy is, and let's talk about what FF7 is trying to communicate.
I would say because of the fact that Advent Children is getting a re-release in theaters, that's also going to be very obviously important to what's going on. So make sure you watch that too.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I have it. I have it in 4K.
Okay.
So, and I saw the books that I actually bought too. So, we will. I think that might be the move. And then we'll wait for Rebirth to settle in. Let the dust settle for like a month. Because actually April is we have 2 games April, but that's our easy multiplayer month.
Yeah.
So, I don't mind us like kind of doing something big for FF7 in a retrospective way too. We'll toss out there. No firm promises whatsoever though. But like that kind of stuff is stuff that we can do now. With that said, we're gonna be kind of quick on this podcast. I know that's our curse every time I say that, but I definitely want to. I mentioned on the Nier episode last night that I have decided to go full in on this to the point where it was almost prophetic, David, that I thought Xbox Shadow dropped FF14 for us to just go for it, but it turns out they didn't. Oopsie. But it doesn't matter. I can still start it up.
It
whatever.
still will be coming very soon.
It's next month.
February is only around the corner.
Yeah. Either way, I don't really mind the console. Like at this point, it's fine. But we will be playing that. I think I'm slowly sitting on that. It's just gonna have to be a scheduled thing, because if it's like a whenever we have time thing, no, it's like, hey, let's hard lock. I don't know. Let's hard lock Thursdays from 6 to 10 or something. Knock out like 4 hours of it just to like feel good about progress. That might be the move, because I don't see myself. I don't. How do you play that game actually? Before I even start talking.
I mean, that's a very good question. So the way that so luckily you're coming into it after they've done the crunch of the main story, because the main story used to have a fuck ton of filler content in between going from the end of the base game into the first expansion, and they crunched all that down, and they got rid of all the fluff for that and just refocused the storyline. It kind of depends on if you're gonna play it and try to enjoy FF14 story at the same time, or if you're like, I don't care, I just want to get to the near content.
No. Again. So we mentioned actually. Let me backtrack now. We talked about how in deep I am on this. And so I'm going to a near orchestra concert now, just on a whim. Not this weekend, but the next weekend. And because of that, now Automata just got fast tracked to the front of my plate. So literally, we're gonna hop off and I'm gonna start knocking that thing out as fast as I could. But anyway, now bringing all the way back around again.
Yeah.
Only reason why I would do that versus watching a playthrough of the near stuff is because again, you've critically claimed it. Everyone else, like, I've not heard bad things about FF14, so I'm gonna give it its dues. I'm not gonna go through this game just for. I feel like that's just doesn't matter. No, but ultimately, this feels kind of disingenuous. It feels what's the word? Disrespectful. I don't know. Like, it feels like you're not really given the time or care to be like this craft that apparently is very well done and very well loved that everyone enjoyed. Say fuck that. I just want the game. I want that. Right? I don't know. It feels like it's kind of shitty.
I like that with MMOs. 14 is one of the few that I actually stopped to start caring about the story.
Well, that's what I mean, though. But like, if that's the case, but I mean, like, I don't want to. I want to give it its dues if I'm going to put the time into it, and if it's a critically acclaimed game, then I'm going to for sure like.
Okay, so the way I would do it is there is a guide you can follow that gives you everything you need to know on just getting through the main content. Because especially if you're going to want to get to the near stuff in any reasonable time, you're going to want to try to avoid the distractions as much as possible. And 14 is fucking filled with them.
Okay, sorry, keep going. I'll talk about
the big question is going to be, because especially if there is a time where you want to make progress without me, the big question is going to come into the fact of what type of MMO job role do you want to be? Do you want to be a healer? Do you want to be a DPS? Or do you want to be a tank?
What are you?
And do you know what any of those things mean?
Yeah, well, I mean, you're talking like, I mean, I know it's the dumbest comparison, but I'm well aware. You're talking like Overwatch style, where it's like enough. I'm looking at like D&D and Overwatch style, where it's like, you know what they're doing. Yeah, like it.
Yeah, conceptually, yeah, you kind of get the idea.
Yeah. No, so how much am I doing without you, essentially? Like, how much are you committing to? How much do I need to know I commit to?
There is a lot of story stuff that you'll be doing on your own, but I'll be available for when you can start doing multiplayer stuff. Because the way that FF14 story kind of goes is you are the central main character. There's a lot of other main characters that are the NPCs, but you're still the focus of it. And so they kind of pepper and slowly ease you into multiplayer content as part of the main storyline. Part of the reason why I do also love FF14 is because the dungeons and the raids are so much smaller compared to a lot of other MMOs. So most dungeons are only a 4-player affair. It's 2 DPS, a healer, and a tank. Some dungeons are a little bit bigger and you have 8 players in which you just double the same numbers. But then raids are like, okay, we have 24 players and they're split up into like 3 groups of players. But it is a really good job of easing you into a lot of that. And that's where those will be the parts I'll be able to like hop in and actually help you with.
How much of this is
so
like... Go ahead.
90% of it is going to be you kind of going through basically a story, like any other Final Fantasy, just kind of on your own. But then there will be times where it's like, oh, now we must go do this dungeon, or oh, we must go fight this massive enemy. And then that's where it's going to be multiplayer stuff, and then that's where I get to hop in and give you a hand.
So I could treat this game like a single-player game.
Yes, and in fact, for the base game, they haven't rolled it out for any of the expansions yet, but for the base game, they actually have included just recently AI helpers, so that way if you wanted to, you can even do all the dungeons and stuff by yourself.
I've heard.
So you could actually play it like a single player.
Okay.
The only thing, and the only reason why I asked if you kept to keep in mind if you had an idea of what role you want to play, is because queue times, if you're not with me and I'm not available to help you out with any content for whatever reason,
DPS is
are
stacked.
abysmal. Yeah.
Healers
It can sometimes be like 1 to 3 hours for DPS queues.
Yeah. How so? And then value towards multiplayer ratio. So if I have you, you said your crew's on board.
I can probably swing together a couple people easily, but even if, because of course you add more people, the more the scheduling gets weird. But even if they're not available, I can usually make myself, unless it's patch week, most available most nights to help out with content.
Okay, and what role are you? I'm assuming tank.
No, I heal. I don't.
figured you were a
tank.
healer tank. Yeah.
Yeah, I am a lifelong. Oh, fuck! Cops are here. What's going on?
Got him. He's done.
Someone done got pulled over for something stupid. No, I am a lifelong. I heal because no one else ever plays healer, so that's what I do is I heal.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I play healers in Overwatch. When I played Overwatch, I played healers. I did like tank a little bit, but generally speaking, I don't usually play tanks in MMOs proper because I don't like being responsible for keeping the party alive in that sense.
Sure.
I'm fine keeping people alive as a healer, but I don't like being responsible for a party wipe if I mess up one little thing.
Sure. Console had 14 rumored to drop in Xbox February 2. I have console friends trying to drag me in while I'm still getting into WoW. That's fair.
I mean, you should play 14 instead of WoW. Much better game.
Cal said David got a cop strippergram.
It's true. But yeah, no. So that's one thing I'd say keep in mind is look up the job classes. Something that could potentially give you a little bit of both is one of my mains that I like playing is the Arcanist, and it's technically a dual class in that it splits off. You have like the baby base class because they changed it over the years how it works, but the refined version is you have like your starter class, and then around level 30 that evolves into the like super version of the class. The Arcanist will actually split into 2 different paths, and it's the only class that does it, where the Arcanist has the option of either being a summoner, which is a DPS based class, or a scholar, which is a healer class, and both level up in tandem with each other because they're based off the same baby class. So that would be the one thing where I'm like, if you don't mind playing like a pet style character, that could be the way to go if you want to.
So I interchange it. I could be like, I'm a healer this round. I could be a DPS that round. Okay, that might be cool. I'll see. I'm gonna look into it.
Look at the classes, figure out what your playstyle would look like best as.
And this is not an ongoing game. This is one game that you're like, I'm down to go back to whenever. But like, okay, because I don't want an ongoing game. Like, I've not touched Overwatch in a while, specifically just because I do want to play it, but it's like I know that's a game that I get sucked into, and I want to do other games.
No, I purposely don't do MMOs if I can help it because I know myself and I get fucking sucked in. It's very rare for me to get like hyper sucked into MMOs, but FF14 has been one of the few that I could easily just lose all my time to it. So I've been wanting to go back basically for the Nier content. But I know that it involved me going through Shadowbringer, which I haven't done Shadowbringer yet.
How long are these expansion packs? 20 hours?
No, they're still like 40 to 50 hour experiences.
Okay.
And that's if you're just hauling through the main story stuff.
Okay. So this will be a chip away at thing then.
Yeah, this is definitely not. We're very likely not getting it done until like maybe the end of the year, unless we're like really dedicated to it.
I mean, maybe. People didn't think you could complete all of Nier in that week, and look at me go. Yeah, so we'll see. It's still on the board. It's just a matter of time investment. It's daunting. Same thing. I really want to play Baldur's Gate 3, but every time I'm like, I hear there's nothing that turns me off more. I'm happy to hear about it. I'm like, cool, that sounds dope. But it's also like a double-edged sword where someone's like, man, I love that game. You gotta play it. I'm like, I know. They're like, dude, it's crazy. I'm on my 7th run. This one only took 90 hours. I'm like, in what world, dude? Just because, like, I don't know, it's like it sounds cool. I love that, but then I think about it like
I mean, I guess the trade-off is if you are not someone that likes to rotate between a lot of games and you like just getting hooked on one game at a
that's
time, that's a
fair.
fucking good option.
That's fair, but like I mean, you're talking like one person's run of Baldur's Gate 3 is the entirety of Persona 5 Royal, right? And it's like Royal's like a game that I'm like, fuck yeah, put it away on the shelf. I'm like, I'm adoring, loving it forever, but I'm like, Jesus Christ, dude, like I don't. Like Kel said, I had 200 hours on Baldur's Gate 3 first game. It seemed daunting, but it is. But it flew. Sorry, Mike. I think I cut off. One day, this year, I'm sure it'll probably be like my summer game or something. Well, I know I say that, and Yakuza's in there too. Jesus, we'll see. Somewhere, Baldur's Gate 3 will get completed. I promise you. Man, I missed the boat by a week for me because I was like, there was a time where I was like, oh, you know what, I'm itching for that. Then I bought it, and I was like, it's a little bit too late now. Eventually. Let's see. David, you got anything this week?
Yo. Yeah, I got just a couple things here. I am a sucker for FMV games. I mentioned this before. I got this game here that was for Windows 3.1.
Hell yeah, everyone's
very
favorite.
old era. The first Windows proper beyond DOS, even though basically it's just an executable that runs in DOS, and that is Mobus. A weird
Mobus, baby.
Mobus.
When's
speaking
Mobus?
Of weird, speaking of weird little things, again, I am trying to collect all of the Kinect games, just because I don't know why. I just feel like I just want to have all the Kinect games, and so I got U-Star 2.
Hell yeah.
And then later on this episode, one of the things we will be doing still is we'll be getting more games as we go ahead and we get mystery boxes off of Fanatical.
Yeah, we're gonna do
Stay
that.
tuned for that as we add those to our list.
Yes, sir. Cool. I grabbed some Humble Bundle, and that's about it.
Hell yeah. There's a couple that have been really. Did you get look at the game dev one that they have?
Yeah,
on?
I was gonna grab that on Next Paycheck. It's like
Yeah.
how to make games on Unreal 5. Perfect
Yeah.
timing. So I was looking that up actually earlier today. I had a slight idea, David, of something that I'm like, if I can do this, it's asking a lot. So I'm like, I don't know, but there's an inkling of a thought in this brain now where I'm like, I think I know what I wanna do. So we'll see.
I feel that because I've been eyeballing. There's a program for making Game Boy games, original Game Boy games, and I've had an idea for a TCG for Game Boy, and I kind of want to fuck with it.
I want you to make
how it goes.
Playdate game.
I love conceptually the idea of Playdate. I've tinkered around a little bit with the Playdate game maker that is the no-code version, and it always comes back to my biggest problem as a human being, which is I have no fucking artistic talent. I'm surrounded by very artistically gifted individuals, and I can't fucking art to save my life.
Do you remember the game idea? Don't say it. Remember the game idea I gave you?
Yes.
We should see about doing that. If you could figure out like the schematics of programming it, I'll figure out the. I'm not an arts person either, but I'll figure out something if you want to just fuck around and throw something out there, because I think it'd be a cool idea. I think that's still somehow that has not been made. I don't understand how. That's the first thing I thought of when I saw it played. I was like, oh, that'd be cool as hell.
No, the only reason I'm eyeballing the idea of potentially doing a TCG is just because I've already made one. It's something I've developed, I've built, and I've had prototyped for years. And it's just one of those things that the only thing I have to do is basically finish making a set of cards for the initial run of it. But right now, the actual like TCG market is super flooded with TCGs, and I'm just like, I don't know if I want to enter into that market right now.
That's fair.
And so I'm like, fuck it. Why don't I make like an indie TCG game potentially for a retro console? So that's why I'm eyeballing it basically for the novelty.
This is fair. Let's see. I'm literally writing down my idea because I'm totally gonna just like have one of those things where I'm like, what was that idea? But yeah, I was thinking about it today. I'm like, a little just splotch popped in my brain. I'm like, ooh, that'd be kind of cool if I somehow managed to pull it off. And it's very for the times currently. So it's like if you were listening to Dave and I talk last night and we talked about something in particular, and then everything else that I've been into just in general, like I'm sure if I told David the idea, I here's the thing: if I made a game I would prototype it with David. David would have to give approval, and I can promise you, if I somehow nailed what I'm thinking of in the way that I'm just like formulating, David would be floored. I can promise you. It is like a non-David David ass game. I'm just gonna leave it at that right now. I'm excited.
Hell
I'm
yeah.
literally just let my brain stew on it. I'm like, let me sleep on it for a couple days, maybe a week.
Let it cook.
If I'm still pumped about it, I'm like, I think I might start writing it and see where we go with that. Kel said inscription did insanely well, so the opportunity is there, which is fair.
Yeah, there's been a few TCGs that have kind of popped off
That
in recent years from the indie scene.
that's just the hard part is inscription's so about style and art, and that's David's like, nah, I just put cards on the board.
I mean, yeah, effectively. That's why I'm like, fuck. I maybe the way to do it is going through the novelty of an older platform where I have more of a limitation to work around. Because I feel like with enough practice, I could probably get the hang of doing like 8 or 16-bit art.
I still think you could do it on Playdate, and you could sell it, dude.
I think the developing specifically for the Playdate will be the harder thing.
It will, but remember one of the best selling Playdate games is that solitaire game that's like $10 to $15, and it just looks really pretty.
I'm not gonna rule the possibility out because I still like. I feel bad I haven't used my Playdate as much as I want because I used it a lot when I first got it.
It's such a cool toy.
and
I just like looking. Every time I see it, I'm like, that thing's so neat.
Again, the biggest flaw to it is it has no backlight. If that thing had a backlight, I'd use
Which
it
is
so
fair.
much more
Like,
fucking often.
again, I understand why their logic was behind it, but it's like or you know what? I wish they kind of leaned into it and they like sold the little like swirly light, right? Like if they had sold
Oh yeah.
plug, you know what? Like give it a way to like plug that in with little like alternate, like a double, like like the string lights where it has like the outlet just in case you can still charge it. Give me your way to like have a string light on that thing and that'd be cool. Like lean into it, that's fine. But like some way to play that because I hate just like once it's like not light enough. I'm like, yeah, okay, well, no more.
Or you know what? Fuck it. Announce the pro model. I would gladly double dip on the Playdate for a version that has a backlight just explicitly
I still want that
for
speaker.
that purpose.
They ever say anything about that speaker actually?
Last I heard that it was supposed to be getting a shipping date at some point soon.
I hope because I'm still waiting for that thing because I think even though like even that would just be enough of a little reason for me to use my Playdate a little more.
Yeah, because I thought about grabbing that because again, I still like the idea of like having it just be like a little speaker sitting there because some of the games on there have banger music.
Right. Let me see. Playdate speaker. Or Playdate dock. I think that's what it was called. Maybe. Google. Do you have anything else you got while I'm looking this up?
No, I didn't get anything else aside from those things.
Fair.
Again, keeping things a little bit light because I'm waiting for that Retro Tank 4K to drop. Which, if you have a passing interest in it, even if it's just passing, okay.
It's too much money. It's too much money, and that's just not an interest for me.
That's fair. Mike Chi basically said that in the last update, right now the holdup for the next batch to drop is basically on the manufacturers. He said, and I quote, "They lost the SCART screws for the device." So they're having to go ahead and chase down screws because they lost the screws for it in the manufacturing lab.
Sick.
But he also said that and it's legitimately fair. The dude has a regular day job on top of doing all the products and updates and shit for the products he does. And the guy hasn't had a break in years. So he's like, after this next batch, I might just go ahead and take a couple month break at least to fucking recoup my brain.
Should.
And I'm like, dude fucking deserves it.
Right.
But at the same time, that means if I don't get it on this next batch, it's gonna be a while before I get my hands on one.
That's fair. Play Stereo Dock is still just coming soon. I forgot they came with a little pen on it too. That thing was.
Oh yeah, it's because it's like the whole like patty little thing
So
there.
definitely that's still like an instant buy as soon as I see it. Just because that'd be a cool little desk feature. Just slap your play date on there and whatever music's popping out there. That's cool. I like that.
Hell yeah.
But anyway, let's see. It said sometime this year. It doesn't say that much, but cool. I didn't get anything. I got some digital stuff.
Shit.
I got some digital stuff. I'm not gonna go over it. David, what'd you play?
Hell yeah. As we talked about a little bit on the games gone by prior, played some Dragon Guard 3.
Okay.
Beautifully terrific frame rate and all, going through it on original hardware. I said I'd never do it on original hardware again, but where I'm getting Leah through the whole franchise now, I'm like, no, she needs to have the real experience of this fucking game. So we're doing that. I started out Black Mesa. Black Mesa has been one of the games that has made my laptop tap out. So I am gonna have to find time to like actually sit at my actual gaming computer to play. I think it says it runs, or at least it's compatible with Steam Deck. But I imagine it'll probably fucking shug on Steam Deck if it's shugging on my laptop.
For what game again?
Black Mesa.
Let's go look right now. Let's see.
And I say that specifically because I'm exporting the video out also to a screen, to a TV, because I'm basically playing on the laptop, but then having it on the screen so that way Leah can watch along there. And exporting video out on the Steam Deck does chug a little bit when you're doing that.
Yeah, unfortunately, it does not look too hot.
Yeah.
Windows version, at least via Proton, is necessary. After adding launch options, it works fine, but then a day ago it says works well enough though it crashed several times through a gaming session.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be a PC game for me.
Yeah, so that'll definitely be at the gaming computer. I'll still probably play it under Linux just because, at least from what I played of it, I put about an hour or so into it. It was working fine under Proton regular. But if it does crash later in the game, then I might just bite the bullet and just fucking play it on Windows. But yeah, started that. It's fascinating how the beginning does have a lot of the same elements of what was going on with Half-Life Original, but just the visual updates really just add that extra tinge of like, okay, I can see why Valve was like, no, we'll bring you into the fold and we'll give you all the funding to make this a proper thing, because it's fucking wild what they've done just already within the first hour of the game. As someone that played original Half-Life, I can see why no one would want to go back to Half-Life proper outside of just pure nostalgia.
Right.
It's night and fucking day. It's ridiculous. Aside from that, I feel like there was one other thing I played, but I don't remember what that was. Where's my... I feel like I actually completed a game last couple days, or not couple days, but last few days. Where are you? Oh yeah, I played The Dark Room, one of my favorite fucking games that is unfortunately fucked because the developers just vanished. And so, are you familiar with the concept of The Dark Room?
No.
Okay, TLDR. The Dark Room is a stage show that was basically like a comedic take on old adventure games, and we're talking like the Mud era of adventure games, where it's like go north, go west kind of style of games.
Near.
Exactly. That whole segment, but as a game. And the whole point of the stage show of The Dark Room is you got this goofy guy who's a comedian, and he basically walks an audience live through a mud style dungeon, where he's like, okay, you awaken to find yourself in a dark room. What do you do? And he kind of posits a few different options on a big projector, and the whole audience plays live along. And people die a fucking lot. And it's a game that I play periodically because I like the humor of it and I enjoy exploring it. But also, it's a phenomenal fucking drinking game. If you have a group of friends and you just want to show them a weird, quirky game, but at the same time you want a drinking game that's going to get you fucked up at the same time, The Dark Room is a phenomenal one because if you make the rules. The Dark Room. There is another game adaptation that's not official called A Dark Room that is based on the same
that's
concept.
what it was setting me to.
Yeah, that's based on the same concept, but it has no involvement with the original creator of the idea of it.
So I don't get. Wait, what's the drinking part of? Like, what's the game out of it with the group? What are you doing?
So the drinking game is basically every time you die, you drink.
Okay.
And it is a game that, because it is like an old adventure game where everything leads to death, it's a great game to get fucked up.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. But I just recently actually finally got the ending in the game. The game was meant to have a lot more content to it, but the developers pieced out, basically leaving the guy behind the stage show kind of high and dry, but he's been looking for a new developer to kind of take the project up again. And it sounds like there might be something happening again with that this year. Fingers crossed, because it deserves it. But truly, phenomenal experience. The only achievement I'm missing in that game is one that's bugged. But I'm kind of okay not having it just because I know how to get it. And there's a fan patch that fixes the bug to make it so you can get the achievement. But it's one of those ones that it's just such a grind to get that I kind of don't want to put in the effort. But at the same time, it's the one fucking achievement I'm missing to have it 100%. So I don't know. I might one day when I'm really fucking bored and I'm just having to do other shit, maybe like during a server update or something, I might go ahead and just say fuck it and get it then. But yeah, fantastic, fun, goofy little experience. I highly recommend it. And again, especially if you want like a drinking game idea to play with friends, it's a great game to ensure everyone gets blitzed.
Okay. Interesting. I put it on the wish list.
And then that is... No, there is one other thing. I started up a playthrough of a fan hack of the original Pokemon TCG, where someone did an update of it recently, called Pokemon the trading card game Neo, I think it's called, where they went through and redid all of the game with all of the Gen 2 Pokemon cards. So it's the same structure of gameplay, but it has all the Gen 2 Pokemon thrown in on top of it. So really fucking cool. I enjoy it, having a bit of fun with that. And that is everything I've been playing.
Nice. I was gonna say, you mentioned about grind stuff. I'm doing it again. I just learned that you don't need to upgrade all the weapons because there's the extra ones from the DLC.
Yes,
I'm talking about Nier. I'm talking about
only
Nier.
Need to get
33.
Yeah, for Nier. Yeah, 33 out of 38.
I'm gonna do
total.
them all probably.
You're gonna do all 38?
I think I'm doing them all. Which is gonna suck because I need to go. I didn't get the speed run achievement, so I got to go through that. Granted, I know this game like the back of my hand currently, so that should not be of an issue. Like we're talking like me getting to ending, and it's slight Nier spoilers, I guess. We're gonna just talk about that because we talked about that so much. I got through to ending E in about an hour and a half ish from beginning to get into the Aerie fight. So like I know this game inside and out. The only issue are certain things like the Eagle Egg, which I'm gonna have to start over anyway, which is gonna make it an issue too, because the Aerie is currently destroyed. So that's the only way to get that. So I gotta go back and do that. Then I gotta go do ending E again. So there's like this is gonna be an uphill climb, but it's like right there too, where it's like, ooh,
Yeah.
it'd be nice, it'd be nice to just say I platinumed near. That is not a
I know. I contemplated it, but again, I don't do speedrunning trophies. If you look through my history of games that I've completed, BioShock, the only trophy I'm missing from that game is speedrunning one of the DLCs. Braid, the only trophy I'm missing from that is speedrunning the game. Near Replicant, again, that's one of the few trophies I'm missing is speedrunning the game. And there's like 5 or 6 other games where like that's either the only trophy or because I realized that was one of the trophies, I didn't put the effort into doing as much as I normally would. I don't find enjoyment in speedrunning shit.
That's fair. I mean, that's totally fine because yeah, essentially now I'm just gonna have to like blitz my way through and just smash content out of the way for it. Um, but the only one that I think I have a handful of them. It just if I feel familiar enough, I'll get through it. Like one of the ones that's prominent to me is Limbo. I think it was like get through Limbo in under 3 hours with less than 5 deaths or something like that, or it could be something like different than that.
Hmm.
It could have been just like less than 5 deaths in general. I forget. Um, I know there's a handful of those I have though. Halo has a lot of them. Complete this level in this time or whatever. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I'm right there, and as much of a fucking troll that Yoko Taro is, I think just having the ability to say I fucking platinumed your goddamn game, get out of here. It's just it's a very freeing feeling. so
Fair.
so
Yeah, because I think I was only missing one trophy from or achievement from Automata from the Xbox version, uh, but because I deleted my save and forgot about the achievement purchaser, I never finished
what
it.
was the achievement
So I was like,
purchaser again?
fuck. He's right in the fucking Rogue encampment
He just
or the
tells you the
Rebellion
achievements.
encampment. Yeah,
So yeah, I remember vaguely that Automata was a lot easier to 100% than Replicant
yeah,
100%.
you can. I wanted to do it naturally. I don't remember the one that I'm missing, but I know it's like a super fucking grindy one. And because of that, I was like, I'm okay just buying that achievement. But then because I deleted my save file, it's like, well, forgot to buy that. All right, I guess I'll just worry about it when I do my run through on the PlayStation.
Yeah, so I might do that on this run through. But yeah, it's been
Oh, your
masochistic,
camera's fucked.
huh?
It's fine on stream, but on Discord, your camera's fucked.
Weird. Uh, it's masochistic. It's not been the most egregious thing in the world though. I'm on hard mode and I'm like level 47 I think right now, so it's like hard mode's like not that big of a deal. It just takes a while to still kill things, but like even if they hit me, it's not a big deal. Um, and then I have
No, honestly, hard mode's not bad at all. The only reason I turned hard mode off was once I got to Route C/D, I was doing the Papa Near DLC, and the fucking enemies in the DLC are so fucking spongy that I just turned it off just so I could get through it quickly.
yeah.
Because
Well,
fuck.
that's
And
what's
that
gonna
is
be.
one thing I will. Sorry, you had.
No, you're good. You're good.
That is one bit of advice I will give for when we go through Yakuza again. I really liked playing Yakuza 0 on hard. I don't like playing any of the other Yakuza games on hard because hard on all the other Yakuza games just makes them fucking HP
I don't
sponges.
really do hard mode out the gate with games. I don't know. That's not my thing. Like Halo's the only exception, just because I know Halo, but
Fair.
I don't
I
really.
usually do hard mode out of the gate for a lot of games just because, especially action RPGs, I feel like that's usually right where I feel the most comfortable to have like a good hearty challenge that makes me want to say, nah, fuck this. This game ain't besting me. I'm going. Let's do this. Um, but at the same time, that unfortunately a lot of games don't balance it well, and Yakuza, aside from Zero, is one of the only ones where I'm like, no, it's not worth playing on hard just because shit becomes
That's
so
fair.
damage spongy.
That's fair. So yeah, my next passive game for however long it's gonna take, which is gonna be a while, but like it's kind of cathartic. I've been knocking out a lot of podcasts this way too.
Hell yeah.
Is now near. But yeah, it hasn't been too bad. There's some egregious parts so that I'm like, okay, that's gonna take a little bit of a while. But like I said, I'm on hard. I have weapons. I have two or weapon and magic are both like 25% plus item drop. So I'm like trying to max out my drops as much as I could. And like I mentioned last night, if there's a way I could cheese this, I will cheese it because he deserves that. It's like
Yeah.
he's cheating me, I'll cheat him back. That's fine. David, was there any news?
The only news that I really had any real interest in talking about is Capcom's shitty practices. This basically made me want so Capcom has decided that they want to retroactively add a lot of DRM back into their games and change the DRM in their games, and it's making me regret getting some of their games on PC. I absolutely despise any fucking DRM that feels like it needs root level access to your fucking computer. Fuck you. You do not need root level access to my goddamn computer. I don't care if it's for anti-cheat. There's no fucking reason for a goddamn video game to have that deep of level of permissions to my PC. Fuck right on off. I basically won't touch Street Fighter now on PC anymore. If I pick up Street Fighter again, it'll be when I bite the bullet and buy Street Fighter V again on console. And it basically, I saw Bandai Namco starting to also double down on DRM on PC again.
Why? I thought it was doing fine.
I don't know why they're doubling down on it as well now, but
Sega's been fine about it, right?
Sega's been relatively fine on it. I think they've. I have to double check, but I'm pretty sure they've avoided using a lot of,
I thought
some of the more egregious ones.
I thought all these companies were like, oh, it's actually PC's not too bad for us.
Well, the problem is that they're putting stuff on PC, but they're using shit fucking DRM stuff. Like, I already don't like Denuvo. I put up with it for Street Fighter, but it still is of like that moral gross area for me. But the one that Capcom has put into with the last round of it, absolutely get the fuck out of here.
Sure.
But it's one of those things that I am now remembering why I don't buy games on PC for a lot of things, which is I don't like dealing with DRM, especially anything with root level access. You have absolutely no need as a fucking video game to have those deep of credentials to my fucking computer.
So David,
fuck right on off. Yo.
So I'm doing just basic like cybersecurity talks with some of the students right now. So it was very out leveled. You would be very upset, but also I'm curious how you would pose it. They would upset you with their answers.
I'm sure they would, because I'm sure they don't care. Because what does it matter? Okay, the three biggest things I hear from people, let me finish.
Yeah.
The three biggest things I hear from people that piss me the fuck off. Number one, well, I got nothing to hide, so what does it matter? Fuck you, it's the principle of it. Do you leave your fucking door to your home unlocked all the goddamn time? Oh, I got nothing to hide, what does it matter? Fuck right on off. Absolutely not. You would not do that. Get the fuck out of here. Number two that I hear, which is, well, I mean, if it's for the better of the experience, then, what does it matter? What matters is everything, especially if you're on Windows. You already have Microsoft, who's doing anything and everything they can to data harvest the fuck out of you so they can sell you to third parties. And Microsoft recently had to publish a confirmation because of GDP rules saying that they admit that they sell your data to almost 800 fucking companies. They outright data harvest anything and everything you're fucking doing on your Windows computer, unless you're using a pro version of Windows and turn off a lot of the telemetry, and even then, there's only so much you can do. And they have 800 fucking partners that thought, yeah, we're just gonna sell all your data to these other companies because it makes us money. And it goes into this cycle of just Everyone wants, you are the commodity. And we are in a weird, fascinating world where people are commodities. Your purchase history, your browser history, so much of anything you do or engage with is a commodity now. To the point where so many websites want to scrape your cookie data just so that way they can immediately get an idea of what they could potentially sell you.
Right, but
And
and again, and I'm with you. I think it's something that you understand more as you get older too, or if you have the parents that are like really proactive about teaching you. Because let's be real, and I, it's frustrating, but also like I understand, right? Because like, what do they care though? Like, what are they losing out on? What is the negative aspect of this? Like, oh, you're selling something, okay, but like literally, like if you walk like down the mall, you're getting sold stuff with like stuff on the windows, right? Like 60% off, 60%, like everything's always in your face, and like no matter what, they've lived in this world with ads, no matter what. So it's like, what way do you rationalize besides and here's and it's again, you're not wrong, but right, it's very old man yells at clouds, right? But it's
so,
no, you're not wrong. You're not wrong though. Like
right.
you're saying this, and again, it's like the way I say it, the way I told them to this, because ironically enough, so my one period of class was mostly boys. They just like said, "I don't give a fuck. Like it's fine. Like we whatever. They know I like rubber ducks. Like who the fuck cares?" But the other class was like more like, "No, you don't want people knowing everything about you." But like but again, what's the thing? And my way of phrasing it to at least that class, because it was a little more of a discussion, was um, I have a thing about windows. I hate windows being open at night.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to have the whole world look at. Does it matter what they see? Nah, they're gonna see just a bunch of random nerd shit. But I don't want people looking in at me or anything in my house at night. It's something that just bugs me, freaks me out a little bit. Like I'm just a little paranoid about that.
Yeah.
But does it matter? No. Is it gonna change my life? No. But it's essentially the same thing. Like I don't want people. Like, does it matter what they're searching up? Not inherently, but like it's just a matter that they're able to, right? But how do you explain that to the generation of people that have always they've lived in that vortex, and it doesn't ultimately have a negative consequence unless you're talking about like a hacking thing that took like actual like social security stuff, right?
Well, that's the interesting part is so and I mentioned this before. I have a Zoomer boss. My
Yeah.
boss is in his early to mid 20s, which kind of hurts my soul a little bit.
Mm.
But at the same time, like he's a good dude. He's genuinely become like a little brother to me. Um, and so he is from the generation where he grew up around a lot of those people of like, oh, what the fuck does it matter? I'm just going to use my phone for everything. And then realizing that like no one in his generation knows how to actually use a computer because everyone just fucking uses their goddamn phones for things.
Mm-hmm.
And he's even more hyper paranoid about data security than I am. He goes to absurd levels. Um, and the common ground that he and I kind of agreed on that is the most important part to kind of explain to these people is that everything on the internet is permanent. Just because you are fine with something today doesn't mean you're fine with something tomorrow. Anything and everything can be weaponized. So today, fine, you're going ahead and you're into these rubber ducks. We'll just
Sure.
use that as the prime example. You brought that up. Okay, great. You know, today you just happen to be interested in some rubber ducks, and companies are able to see that you are interested in rubber ducks. But again, everything going on your computer, especially if you're a Windows user, and especially if you're using fucking Chrome or any variant of fucking Chromium, everything is being cataloged, including Brave. Fuck off if you think Brave is actually doing anything for you.
That's brave of you to say.
But everything is being tracked. Anytime you go to like a Facebook or anything, they're pulling your cookies and pulling a lot of your metrics. Unless you're specifically using a VPN to to connect to a country that has hardcore strict data protection laws like Sweden or Germany, they are pulling a lot of your data. And so it's one of those things that's like, okay, sure, what you present to the world is that while you're shopping, you're interested in ducks. Let's be honest, you're probably looking at some kind of porn. And while you may not necessarily be like, oh, whatever about it today, you know, maybe 10 years from now, you're a little bit of a different person. and all that's going to come back to you in some kind of capacity. There is some kind of ledger out there. So there are every fucking single day, government agencies, medical facilities, corporate infrastructure is taken down by some kind of ransomware, by some kind of hack, by something, and all that data is being exploited, and a lot of little people get swept up in that.
Yeah, so I told him about that. I told him about that and how like there's like the dark web ransom stuff. Like I told him about that, which struck their interest. I told him about
It's not even dark web; it's
No, I
super
know.
common clear web shit.
Well, yeah, but it gets transferred to there so that way they can make the money, right?
No, that's still clear web. They don't. The only thing, air quotes, dark web, and I really fucking hate the terminology for it. The only thing that's technically dark web about a lot of that is that they'll use like Bitcoin or some kind of.
I mean, we're talking like Tor browser, the Tor browser, and so there was
most of that's done on clear web.
So there was I say this because there was a video right from Trilogy Media I was watching. It was fascinating because they were doing a dark web hostage info hostage thing. Where the guy that does it, he does a lot of education on web security and stuff like this. But what they'll do is they'll hire out a third party firm to do the negotiations just to get the motions out of it for the victim side. And it was like an 81-year-old dude's accounting firm that got hit. That's why I told you, right? It was the one where the IT, yeah. But like the instructions were on there. You go to this browser, you input this code, you download this, you go to this browser, you input this code, it takes you to a one-on-one chat with them that has like hey, our offer right now is $200,000 for all of your information. You have 8 hours. Once that clock goes down, it's $300,000. Like it goes up as the time that you waste or whatever. But it gets on there just because they and Bitcoin's also among those the least used. In fact, they charge like a 15% premium if you use Bitcoin just because it's more complicated in terms of like of covering tracks and all that. But there was some other one, I forget what it was, that they used. But it goes deeper when you get to that because when you're talking $100 like for MGM having that 100 million ransom, that's not a clear web negotiation. That is you need to cover your ass wherever you are putting this stuff because if you have like one hair of data that falls, you're getting royally fucked.
Yeah, so if you're talking like super big leagues, sure, but honestly,
smaller
even
level stuff, of course, right? Smaller level stuff.
Well, not even just small level stuff. Again, I was in data recovery for 10 years. I was there for the birth of ransomware. I remember the days of Obama and other goofy fucking crypto bullshit. Of like, oh yeah, here's your fucking ransom. I remember the FBI virus and shit like that. I was there for. Don't speak the deep fucking language to me, Elf. I was there when it was written. But it's one of those things that a lot of it is still done on clear web because depending on how you get the payment is all that matters. The payload is usually executed through some clear web means, either through 9 times out of 10, it's usually some stupid ass email attachment that someone that doesn't know any better fucking clicks on. My favorite personal story is I worked with this company. Bless this fucking dude's heart. He was a senior within the organization when he was looking for help with this. Dude got an email attachment. He thought it was from payroll. And he's like, this document is not opening. That's weird. Puts it on a thumb drive. Walks to 5 different computers. Puts it in. Tries to open it. And then it's only after the 5th computer not opening the file, he's like, something is not right with this file. And then proceeds to go to his IT team after they're already like, wait, what the fuck's going on with the network? Fucking weird, hilarious, sad shit. But
I know where you're at with this, and it makes sense to me, right? But I'm still trying to rationalize it to them, and maybe that's what makes them rationalize it a little bit more.
Well,
but
I was gonna say maybe that's that is honestly the root core. Is if they don't understand that just because
it's not just
may be harmless to them.
It's not just rubber ducks that they're seeing. It's literally
everything.
Unless you are doing the utmost VPNs and none of this private browser that I'm sure they probably think is fine It is like
Yeah, private mode does like fuck all.
th-
Literally all it does is just not save extra
it is like
cookies.
VPNs, and it's VPNs with um send
Specifically VPNs that host their data, and actually technically you don't even want VPNs that host data, period.
but
That's why
the ones that do not well yeah, ones that don't, but they're in countries specifically that just do not allow
they're
you.
not part of the Five Eyes Pact.
Right.
So the Five Eyes Pact is an agreement between America, the UK, Canada, and a couple other countries where they all agree that if anything happens, they're gonna share information. The only VPN I ever recommend people fucking use is Mulvad. Just fucking hard stop Mulvad. And there's two core reasons why I always hard recommend Mulvad. Number one, they run their servers off RAM. Literally nothing is ever fucking saved because it's running off of random access memory. There is nothing to grab. And two, within the past year, they were actually rated by German officials, and basically the German government was like, fuck, we literally can't find anything. Thus proving that they don't fucking keep anything on their customers.
Hell
So, if I remember correctly, all their servers run off of Alpine Linux, which Alpine Linux has an option to run off of just RAM. And again, as intended, when you're doing that, literally nothing is tracked. I full stop. If you're going to do anything,
So
honestly, even for
it was what countries again were it? It was
I think it's the U.S., Canada, Germany, the U.K., and there's like 2 or 3 others. They're called the Five Eyes, but there's like 7 or 8 of them actually.
the Five Eyes Alliance.
Yeah.
Let's see. Australia, Canada, New Zealand, UK, and US.
Yeah.
So wait, is that not?
Well, the UK is technically multiple countries because that's England, Ireland, Scotland, and I think Wales.
Yeah, it's not Europe proper.
Yeah.
Because I think I was looking up because I used Surfshark just because it was cheap enough, and it works on
I
phone.
absolutely don't trust them. They're owned by Nord, and Nord sells client
Yeah,
data.
or Nord. I thought they were.
They are owned by Nord. There are 7 different VPN companies that are just simply owned by Nord. Surfshark, Wire.
Oh, they
Shark.
merged under them. Okay, I was using them back in 2021, so that was before that.
Fair, but still, the only VPN I'd ever recommend any use is Mulvad. Proton is like that weird, like I don't entirely agree with their pricing model, and because I feel like they've gotten a little money hungry, and that's the only reason I kind of go on Proton. But they're a fine enough secondary. I absolutely not trust NordVPN or any of the other fucking VPNs underneath them. Just get Mulvad, and if for some reason you don't want Mulvad and want to deal with the way they do things because they deal things off of license keys that are randomized, you don't have an account, you don't have anything like that, you basically buy a license key, and then that license key is good for 5 devices that then creates an identifier that you can use to reinstall back to that device if you need to. That's the only thing I'd recommend. And if for some reason you don't want to go through the extra hoops of Mulvad, Proton. But I feel like Proton has gotten a little money hungry, so I don't 100% recommend them.
Okay, cool.
That's the only one I would ever recommend. And I recommend that for most things. Like, even just daily internet browsing, go ahead and use a VPN, set yourself to Sweden, and experience the difference in navigating websites without the VPN and when you're in Sweden. Google, fucking Facebook, so many websites have to ask you permission if they're even allowed to touch your cookies versus what they just automatically assume they can do in the US.
So
I think
I'll stick around with it. Just for now, I still have just for basic stuff. I still use Surfshark, and I'm looking up real quick. They are they did merge, but they still operate independently. I know, but for what it is, and they're still based in the Netherlands, which is outside of that jurisdiction, which is why I looked. That's why initially
But
I
the
picked them
parent
up.
company
Right.
is why is what they're
Right, right,
beholden
right,
to.
right. But that's enough for me right now. Just with whatever it is, if there's gonna be anything like I'd
If
rather.
you already have time, fine.
Well, it's also
But
$5 a month is a lot to ask for me for right now for a VPN
mobile, you just buy a token and that's it.
on the iOS thing because I'm using most of my stuff on phone these days.
Yeah, it's across the board. You get one token that works for 5 devices.
Oh, why is it telling me right now that it's saying 30-day subscription $5?
That's fucking weird. I just buy the tokens on Amazon.
I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, look that up. But that's what I recommend. Mullvad is my go-to. Which is a long-winded way to say that ultimately, at the end of the day, it comes down to you still have the only way you can get that generation, especially, to really care is they have to have something that they're afraid of on some level. You know,
Homework.
our generation was the first generation truly to realize that things were permanent.
Yeah, well, that's the thing now. Is like, and that's what I've kind of like thought of. Which, by the way, we'll wrap this discussion up just because I want to do our thing and dip. But
Mm.
that's the one thing I thought of is like like our generation's like the ones like, oh fuck, like my dumb assery is gonna be noticed that long ago. But you know what? Now it's like almost it feels like there's no such thing as a clean record for.
No, absolutely not.
So it's
There
like that's
will
why
never
they're
be.
not really affected by that. They're like, oh, we'll do dumb shit. And granted, like yeah, there's still some extreme dumb shit where like yeah, you'll learn later on that was dumb to put on the internet. But for the most part, I think like minor infractions, there's like everyone's like whatever, who cares? Versus like any sort of thing.
And that's the thing is, I unfortunately I don't think you're going to reach everyone, obviously, but I think it ultimately comes down to you have to either play to someone's concept of privacy, or you have to play to someone's concept of fear. Because either they're gonna be the type that honestly, your window analogy is the perfect one. I use the open door analogy because I feel like, at least for me personally, I've had more success with that. Of like, do you leave your fucking front door unlocked? No, doesn't. Why would you do that for your data on your computer? Uh, but it's also one of those things that, like, okay, if privacy is not a concern, then fear. Okay, yeah, you're fine with this thing now. Let's say it's 10 years from now, and that's the unfortunate thing is, you know, some of these kids are not going to have that same level of thought process. But for those that maybe are like in the back of their mind, kind of like, oh, that makes more sense. Of like, you're going to want things in life. You're going to want things in life that maybe if you had been a little bit more cautious would have been far easier to achieve if you hadn't had this information.
And you know
out
what
there.
though, it's a nuanced thing because you got to really approach it in a way, but also I think having grown up where we are and seen how things were and what the explosion is, I just feel like we just kind of appreciate this, even though it's again in the grandest of grandest schemes. Most people will not have to deal with any bad ramifications of this, but we just appreciate the ability to have it is nice.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that, for me personally, again, I get very passionate about it just because I'm in the field, uh, and it's one of those things that truly, for most people, I'll be honest, for most people, is it going to be a concern? Probably not. The worst that's going to happen, which is the inevitable, is your data is going to get out there, and you might have to go
Well,
ahead and fight with banks.
well, that's what I told
To
them right out the gate. I'm like, you guys get scam calls? Yeah. I'm like, congratulations, your info's out there
yeah,
right out the gate. If you're getting scam calls, yeah, your info's already out there.
yeah.
So, David, I know you've been David's been like eager to do a mystery key bundle.
Hell yeah.
This is the first time you've been eager to do this? I think usually it's me or Chris thing, but this time you messaged me and you're like, "Yo, I'm just antsy for some mystery keys."
Yeah, it's one of those things that I don't usually get into the idea of these, but I don't know why. For whatever reason, my brain right now is like, "No, you want that." And I think it's just because I've been like looking at a lot of the bundles on Fanatical, and I go on Fanatical fairly often. Once in a blue moon, I'll see a deal where I'm like, "No, I want all those games. Let's go." Um, but this is a situation where I don't know why. My brain's just like, no, you want random games because why not? And maybe low key part of it is because I saw that with purchase there's a chance to get a Steam Deck. And maybe that's part of it because I'm like, Leah could use her own Steam Deck, so she's not using mine. So there's two ways we could go about this. Because unfortunately I can't just gift you a bundle. I bought one. I'm gonna have to buy two because I want us both to have an equal amount. We're doing the full 20 games. Do you want to do it so that way we go one after the other, where I do my 20 games and you do your 20 games, or do we want to make it interesting and we go, I get a game, you get a game, I get a game, you get a game?
Well, yeah. I was gonna say we could also just because I'm penny pinching. I'm not trying to like be shitty about it. Just because of the upcoming trip now. And I had to double check when all these games come out. Yeah, I don't mind doing that. Actually, let me check some real quick.
So we'll put some ground rules real quick. This is one that we already agreed to before the podcast for the audience listening in here. Obviously, if we're going to have a duplicate clause. If there is an obvious duplicate that one of us has and we get a key for it, I think the only thing that's fair to do is to kind of trade for something that's not a duplicate.
Sure.
The only other thing I'll say then is that where I'm grabbing the purchases for both, I get priority on what's traded for duplicates. Does that sound fair?
And it's your money. Yeah, do whatever you
All
want.
right. Fair enough here. So, you know what? To keep things interesting, let's do one after the other. So,
Sure.
This first one will be my key here.
Okay.
Smoke and Sacrifice.
Smoke and Sacrifice. That's not
Smoke
Salt
and
and Sacrifice, that's for sure.
It is not. Do I even have that? What the fuck is that? I do not have that. Let me check the store page here.
I think that's something you'd be into.
No, it looks like all right. So $20 game here. It's an RPG adventure game.
It's $159.
Yeah, that looks like an interesting little game. All right, looks like a little Diablo style game. I'm gonna go ahead and get the key ready. I'm not gonna redeem it just yet.
Okay.
We don't know what's gonna happen. All right, so your first game here, For the People.
Oh, I think I've was that I know that name.
I mean, that sounds like a democracy style game.
Yeah, I should have Steam open just so I can see and make sure I don't have all these.
Yeah, so that comes in normally. It's actually on sale right now for $6.79, but normally $17. For the People is a mix of political management sim and visual novel.
That's 100% something I want. But let me check if I don't have it because that's always something I would buy too. I have it.
You do have it?
I do have this.
All right, so let me make a note of that here. So let me actually just open up a new notepad.
Really, that sounds like something I'd buy for sure.
All right, and then Adrian For the People, but you own. So I'll make a note of that here because that'll be something that we'll trade around. All right, so my next game here, Astronaut. What the fuck are you? I've never even heard of you.
Astronaut. Oh, that's interesting.
It's an RPG. It's an auto battler with roguelike. Gross. Disgusting.
Oh, I'm in. That might be something for us.
All right, that might be a fair trade potentially then for the People.
Yeah.
All right. Your next game, Scheming through the zombie apocalypse, the beginning.
What the fuck is this?
Point and click adventure, story rich comedy.
Yeah, I'm in.
And it's some furry bullshit.
Oh,
Hell yeah,
yeah.
let's go.
It's great.
Alright, let me copy and paste that. That's such a long ass fucking title. You
Yes,
people
it
need to
is.
cut the shit with these fucking titles. Alright, my next game is Alfred Hitchcock Vertigo.
Ooh.
That's actually one I have been eyeballing, honestly.
Ooh, I'm jealous for that one. Good shit.
Yeah.
Good
Good.
shit.
Alright, that's fair. I've actually been kind of curious about that one.
Damn. Nice, nice, nice. Hope we get a duplicate of that one right now.
Alright, let's see. What do we got here? Siberia 2 is your next key.
I think I have that. I have it on Switch anyway. Yeah, I put that on my own list.
Alright, that is in your own list. That is also in my own list. So that might be something that, worst case scenario, I give to Leah. Alright, my next game is Rebel Galaxy, and I think I actually own that one. I do not own that. That's
That one's a
surprising.
big one actually too. I own that one. I've heard very good things about that.
Yeah, that's weird. I thought for sure I had that one. Alright, interesting. Alright. Honestly, getting the fucking money's worth here. God damn.
That Alfred Hitchcock was the winner, honestly.
Alright, and your next game is the original Toki.
Let's see. Do I have this? I do not have that. Okay.
It's honestly a pretty solid series. I've enjoyed those games.
Interesting.
Alright, my next game, Lost Castle. I'm not familiar with that one.
Lost Castle?
Ooh, apparently it's a Japanese game of some kind. Or some kind of moon runes, at least I'm seeing. A 4-player beat-em-up roguelike. Ooh, interesting. Alright.
That sounds
You
like
had me at beat-em-up, you're
that's-
losing me a little bit at roguelike.
That sounds like it's up your alley though, with everything else.
Ooh, actually, yeah, looking at gameplay, it almost feels like Castle Crashers.
Yeah, let's say it has
Okay.
the House Crusher vibes to it.
Alright.
Cool.
Alright, your next game, When Ski Lifts Go Wrong. Hell yeah. That's fun. Let's go, let's see here.
It's one of those
What
silly
was this?
games.
Ride into the hilarious construction puzzler. Oh, interesting. Alright.
Okay.
Construction puzzle game. I was not expecting that. Alright, let's see if I get a meme game. Garbage. I get garbage.
What'd you get?
That's literally what it's called, garbage.
Oh.
Alright, what the fuck is this? I mean, it's got a mixed rating on Steam, so that's all the
What
better.
in the world is that?
Looks like a hobo management simulator.
Excuse me?
Experience the struggle which a homeless man goes through a humorous manner. Primitive elements of contemporary life that we
That
take
sounds
for
amazing.
granted.
That's the money one right there. Hell yeah.
Well, that might be something we make a trades-a-roo here on then. Alright, your next game, Snooker 19. You get to play some pool, Adrian.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, Snooker is the British version of pool.
Hell yeah. I'm only a couple years off. I gotta play the earlier versions.
It's true. You do like starting at the beginning of a franchise.
Unprecedented realism. Hell yeah.
Alright, let's see here. My next game, Just Die Already. I think I actually have that. Steam library. I do in fact have Just Die Already. Do you have Just Die
I
Already?
do not.
Alright, well, that might be something that will be a fair trade then for a thing I own and a thing you own.
Cool.
which will bring us to your next game. Rebel Galaxy Outlaw.
Let's see. I might not own that one. I do not own that one.
You do not own the Outlaw version.
No, which it has worse reviews, but that's okay.
Beautiful. You'll love to see it. All right. My next game is Mini Thief. That looks like a little cute indie game. Let's see here, just based on the picture, but let's pull the actual Steam page. Yeah, I mean, that looks like a fine little game. Like that I
like a
expect that
video
on like
game.
an Xbox Live game kind of thing.
Certainly a video game.
That is certainly a video game. All right.
How much more do we have now?
We're almost done this list. We're almost at 10 each.
Okay.
All right. So your next game, Ember. Oh, I've been looking at that game too. Good shit.
Ember.
That's that kind of firefighter game.
Okay.
I think it's actually like a 4-player co-op or
Oh,
something
no, you're
like
thinking,
that.
no, no, we're thinking of something else then.
Yeah, no, it's the firefighter simulator that's co-op. I actually have it already,
Ember?
so yeah.
Okay, because
EMBR.
Oh, I thought you meant just regular.
Yeah, not actually spelled like Ember, but like.
Okay. I do not have that. Cool.
Perfect. We now both have a co-op game together.
Hell yeah.
All right. Grand Mountain Adventure Wonderlands. What? Is this some kind of ski resort bullshit? Simulation sports casual. Yep. All right. I will look forward to never fucking playing that game. All right. Let's see what your next game is. Dun. Yesterday Origins. Ooh, that looks mysterious. The fuck are you? Oh, content warning when I go on Steam.
Yeah.
Okay. This actually looks kind of neat.
Let's see.
We got some crazy looking individual in a CCCP shirt.
Reviews are very
We got a
positive.
Skelebro.
Unsupported on Steam Deck, at least is what it says. So we'll play that eventually. It's point and click,
that
apparently.
looks kind of interesting. All right. So our last two games of this first bundle.
Okay.
Well, I guess I'm glad I'm the one that's guaranteed to get this one because I know Leah would absolutely adore that, and it's Agatha Christie's Hercule Poirot: The First Cases.
Nice.
She is a big Agatha Christie fan, and I will say she's gotten me into the Poirot series that they did. It's like 11 fucking seasons long, and it's actually really fucking good. Enjoy it quite a bit. Starring David Suchet. All right, the last game of this first bundle. Oh yeah, I'm glad you got it and not me, and it is Golf Gang.
Golf Gang. Cool.
All right, let me get one more bundle here.
I have that, by the way, so I put that on my.
All right, I'll put that in your own list. Goddamn. Do I have that one? Now I need to double check. Fuck, I have that one as well. All right.
Another co-op game for us. Hell yeah.
Proceed to check out.
All right. Last set.
The dangerous part of knowing all your card numbers by heart.
Yeah, no, I had to stop that. Honestly, I'm now just hoping you get another Alfred Hitchcock because I was eyeballing that like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
All right.
Fingers
So
crossed
my
on that
first
one.
key of the new batch
Or do you want to
is
swap it?
10-second
Never mind.
Ninja X.
Never mind. You're good. 10-second Ninja X.
I didn't know 10-second Ninja got an enhanced version.
Maybe so. Maybe so.
All right, your next key. Internet Cafe Simulator. There you go.
I think I have that.
Do you really?
Yeah, let me double check. I do.
Fucking Christ. All right. God damn. You surprisingly have a lot of these games.
Yes, sir.
All right. My next game. Ancient Enemy. What the fuck are you?
Ooh, it's a card game.
Card game. I don't have it either, apparently. Fucker, thing. Okay. Okay.
Interesting.
Your next game. Dun, 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 dun. From Space.
From Software. Another co-op game. This is like a horde mode game.
All right.
I have that.
You have that? Goddamn.
I don't even know where these games came from.
That's a very good question. Do I have that? No, I gotta double check because my immediate thought is like, oh, that must be like a Humble Bundle. Okay, yeah, that must have been a Humble Bundle because I have that as well.
Yeah.
All right, dun 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 dun. Chenzo Club. What the fuck is a Chenzo Club?
Oh, it looks neat. I should have been reading out these descriptions while we are doing it. Growing group of fighters here to save the world. They're using the aliens' life force to power up and beat them at their own game.
Yeah, it looks like a kind of almost like Mega Man-esque game. All right, that's
It's cute.
All right, your next game. Siberia 1. Hell yeah, you get the whole collection.
Fantastic.
That's what you've always wanted.
Do I have the Siberia games on Steam? I do have them all on Steam anyway.
You have them all on Steam. Beautiful. So do I. All right, my next game. Bah, bah, bah. Perfect. Apparently, this collection really wants to make sure that Leah has things to play. As the next collection, the game I got is Agatha Christie: The ABC Murders.
I have that one
which
actually.
is another Poirot Starro.
I do have that one. I was looking at that.
All right, your next game. What the fuck? Marsupilami Huba Adventure. What the actual fucking fuck? I will put that in the chat so you can actually see.
Yeah, I am looking at it right now.
Okay. That's fascinating.
They're sold out of codes. Huh.
All right. My next game here. The Deed Dynasty. That sounds ominous.
Commit a murder, then through making the right choices and planting evidence, convince the authorities of your innocence and everyone else's guilt. Holy shit, that sounds incredible.
Yeah, it sounds pretty. And it's an RPG Maker game, so it's up my alley. Let's fucking go.
Dude. That sounds great. Let me know how that is.
Will do.
All right, slap that on the wish list. Oh, it's a sequel to just the Deed.
Oh, okay, interesting. Fuck, I need to hit the bathroom real quick. You keep people entertained for like 2 seconds.
God damn it, dude. This man's bladder is the worst thing I've ever seen in my entire life. What do I even do? Let's see. While I'm looking at all this Steam stuff, might as well look at my wish list. Is there anything on sale lately? Scarlet Hollow, nothing's on sale at a price I care about. 50% off for an airport run by dogs. I still kind of want to eventually get. Conway to Experience the Dahlia View is 43% off. Musical Story is 60% off. Solstice 50. Evil West. Ooh, Evil West was something I was wanting. Is it still on sale for a while? I still have a little bit of time. I was thinking about Evil West actually. Is that on sale on Humble? That'd be nice. Evil West. No. Unfortunately. I also feel like that's going to be a Humble Bundle game eventually too, though. That's why I haven't bit the bullet on it. Loot Rivers 58% off. And that's about it. Man, I do want Evil West. I'm gonna wait a little bit longer though. What's Bokura? Is a 2-player puzzle adventure game. Play as 2 boys who ran away from the homes and work together to take yourselves somewhere far, far away. Relive the friendship of your childhood through the journey of 2 boys. Interesting. It's local co-op. I like that. Okay. I might buy this. Huh. I'll add that to cart. That looks interesting. It's got really good reviews too. Okay.
Like long baby.
There he is. He's back.
Ugh.
All right, we got. All right, he is here. All right, we gotta hustle through.
All right, we will hustle through these. I won't do any build up. You're the next game here. Bam! Your next game is I Am Fish.
I think I have that too. Let me check.
I think we both might have that because I think that was in a Humble Month.
Oh, I don't have that.
Point.
Huh.
Oh, perfect. I have that though, so that works out for the best.
Fantastic.
All right. And then my next game, bam, Reventure. What the fuck?
Revengeance?
Yeah, Metal Gear Solid Revengeance. Reventure. Oh, it's a little indie platformer kind of game. Okay.
Fantastic. I was saying I was on to get Evil West. That game looks great.
Where is this tab? There we go. All right, your next game, Terror of Hamasaurus.
I have this game, I believe. It's a really good game, actually.
Destruction Dinosaurs local co-op. Oh, it almost kind of looks like a Primal Rage. Just goofier.
I do have this. It's a very good game, David. You'll definitely want to trade that.
All right. It's surprising that you have more duplicates than I do. But truly.
Yep.
All right. Black Sad Under the Skin.
I have that on Xbox. It's a detective game.
Yes, I saw
It's
that because
Cat guy.
yeah. Chris got the physical of that a while back, and I contemplated getting the physical of it, and I never got around to it.
Yeah.
All right, that's fine. All right, your next game. Asterix and Obelix XXL2.
Fuck you just say?
It's a British series, platformer series based around Odin and other bullshit.
What was it called?
Asterisk and Obelisk XXL2.
Spell it for me.
I'm just gonna put it in the Discord chat. It's a long-running British platformer franchise.
Okay, interesting. All right.
My next game, Pumped BMX Pro. Oh boy. But where is the sequel to BMX XXX?
I'm saying.
All right, your next game, 12 is better than 6. Which hilariously I got as my bonus purchase for the first bundle.
That looks interesting. It'd look interesting better if I didn't have it already.
Christ. There's no winning here.
There, welcome to Steam Deck Live, dude.
All
Why
right,
the
next.
fuck do I own this?
That's a very good question. I certainly didn't own it until just now, so. All right, my next game, Hue. I think I actually have that one.
Yeah. That was a really early Game Pass game. That was actually really fun.
Oh, actually, I don't have that on Steam. Okay.
Yeah, you would like that, I think.
All right, your next game is Danger Scavenger. Oh, that looks neat.
Let's see.
Good old kind of simple indie looter shooter. Can't go wrong with those.
You can't go wrong with that. That's why I have it.
Oh, oh, you need to stop having shit.
Yeah.
Again, I have over 2,000 games in my Steam library, and yet I barely have any of these fucking games. How the fuck?
Since Steam Deck, dude, I've just been I think I just grab stuff here or there if it just looks remote. It might even just be like a bundle I see on Fanatical. I'm like, why not?
All right, my last game of this adventure is Hacknet, which I do have already.
I think I have
That's
that
a
as
neat
well.
little simulator game.
I have that as well. Yeah,
You have that as well. God damn.
I do indeed.
All right.
All right,
And
let's get
your
any
last
game that I don't
game?
own.
The indie mixtape. I mean, just going off description alone, then it sounds like a US game. Let's actually pull that up here.
Oh, okay. Wait, how's it spelled?
Indie mixtape with mixtape is one word. Oh, this is fucking neat. God damn.
I don't see it anywhere on here. Send me the name.
Yeah, I'm gonna just put it in chat.
Why is it not popping up?
Also, shout out to Kyle for laughing at the name of Obelisk and Asterisk there.
This is weird.
Is that actually not coming up for you?
It wasn't coming out on Fanatical, but it's coming up on here now. This is interesting. Huh.
Yeah, it actually looks kind of neat.
Okay, cool.
All right, so those are the games that we have here. So let me... I think the only one that I have that you didn't already was Just Die Already, correct?
I believe... Yeah, I don't have that one.
All right. So... what can we trade that for? I want to trade that for the people.
Sure.
All right, so let me change this around on
Well,
my
I was gonna
sheet
say, Dave,
here.
you can keep the ones that I already have.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with them. I still have like humble keys. I don't know what I'm doing with. Just gotta have them.
Fair enough. All right, and then let me put this for it to go to you.
Let me check some before out of here in a second.
And you said you're certain you have HackNet already, right?
Yeah.
All right. So in that case, then that'll come over to me. Over to me. These will come over to me.
And then actually, I'm gonna spice it up maybe a little bit. What's the last
It ends in 6 hours.
No, when's the last Humble Bundle you bought?
I get. You mean the monthly or just in general?
No, in general.
Usually the only ones I like actively get are the monthlies.
Okay, because I bought the board game one that just happened. I own some of these keys.
All right.
So let's see. I have Love Letter.
Let me real quick check, see if I have that here. I do not have that.
Okay, so that's yours. I have Lord of the Rings Adventure Card Game Definitive Edition.
I do not have that.
Okay, let me double check everything else on here. I'm presuming you got Hollow Knight already.
I don't know if I have it on Steam. Let me double check. I do have it on Steam.
Okay, there'll be more. There'll be more for sure. But those are the ones on top of my head that I didn't need. Okay, putting the Steam up there. It's all about giving.
Hell yeah. Speaking of which, let me start getting this list of keys for you here.
So that. You said you don't have the Lord of the Rings thing, right?
Yeah. One key.
Carcassonne. I do have Carcassonne Talon Tactics. Do you have Carcassonne on there?
I think I do. Let me double check.
Carcassonne Talon Tactics to be specific.
I have Carcassonne, the official board game.
But not Tiles and Tactics.
No.
Okay, I'm gonna gift you that one then.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Whew. Do you have Blood Rage Digital Edition?
Yeah. Is that one or two words?
2 words.
I do not.
Okay. Um, do Dream. Nope. Arkham Horror. You have Arkham Horror Mother's Embrace.
No, I do not.
Okay. Unironically, I might be giving you more than you gave me, just in terms of just repeats. Do you have a Game of Thrones, the board game?
The board game, no.
Okay.
Because I had that weird, shitty RPG they did a while back.
Okay, there's that too. You have Splendor?
That's a good question. I think I do. Let me double check. Yes, I do.
Okay, it's an extra. And you have Small World?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I think that might be why I didn't bother grabbing that bundle, is I realized that I owned basically fucking everything in it.
Well, now you do.
Or at least a good chunk of it.
Terraforming Mars?
Nope.
Okay. And let's see. It was like one more. Do you have Blasphemous?
Yes.
Okay. Hollow Knight, you said you do. All right, I think that's about it.
Hell yeah.
Alrighty, sir.
All right.
Cal's with it. I love Blasphemous, so let me play too. This is fair.
I do need to actually play that at some point. I got that a while back, and I'm like, I fucking am curious about it. Because, again, love me some Metroidvanias, and I never got around to it.
I'm trying to see where the humble choice I have while I'm here. Chef's Kiss for that game. That's fair. I've heard good things. 2 Point Campus on humble choice is kind of neat for you, David.
Yeah, it's one of those things that, like, I'm kind of sad that I bought it physical, but at the same time, like, yeah, I'm excited to play that on PC, because I played that a little bit, and I realized that that is very much a cozy at the computer mouse and keyboard kind of game.
Fair.
All right, I sent you on the Facebook all your keys there.
Sick. Gotta check one last thing before I'm out of here. Alrighty, sir. All right. That was your mystery. Hey, I think you made off with that. I'm jealous of that Alfred Hitchcock game. You got you. That's the big one, I think.
Yeah, that was a surprising fucking banger, honestly.
Yes, sir. That's a good pick on that one. All right, Cal's in the chat. Oh, Spanish Inquisition meets Dark Souls meets Castlevania. Yeah, I've heard good things about Blasphemous. It looked super cool.
Hell yeah.
See everyone in the chat. Brains fried. Adios.
Love to see it.
All right, chat.
Bye.